Wow. 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 Yeah. I'm gonna just go straight down the line. Now, this is 39 minutes. We ain't gonna do the whole thing. I know Tahir gonna watch this. Come on, man. Jesus. Yeah. I'm just gonna go live, see what's going on. It's past 9 o'clock. We don't even do reaction this late. What is up, YouTube? How y'all doing? Check it out, man. Dang, I don't even know how I'm gonna start this. You have to look at it from both angles. Please look at this from both angles, because when I first saw this, I was like, shame on you. I was really pushing this lady down. This is Cassidy's, man, one side is going out. This is Cassidy's makeup artist who's been around for quite some time. And I want you to notice how Paris Morgan was actually like grilling her, so to speak, man. And I'm on his side, like grilling, you should have said something. You should have done something. But she's like, well, I was just doing my job. And she was the one actually doing the makeup and covering up some of the bruises. She's seen some of this stuff and she didn't say anything. But on the other side, you think about it, Puffy was a very powerful person. And, you know, if I say something and he know I said something, if he know I snitched, right? If he knew I snitched, then I'd be one of those people everybody talking about dead. So I want you to decide. Listen to what she's saying, man. I want to bring this to you guys because I was checking this out and then I was thinking one way, then all of a sudden I reverted to a different thought. First I was against her, then I was a little for her. I'm like, God dang. Imagine being in this situation. So let's check this bad boy. Yeah.
I owe a lot to
hit that subscribe button. Hit that
bell.
bell.
He taught me, you know, I owe a lot to.
Let's check it out,
Puff
y'all.
With my career, because he taught me really everything I know about the industry.
You say you're very surprised and shocked.
See, I owe a lot to Puffy because he taught me a lot about the industry. So check it out. Check it out. Here we go.
By what's now come out. I wouldn't be shocked if I'd seen what happened to Cassie. I think this guy's a monster. Do you feel any sense of guilt that you didn't report it?
We were terrified of Sean. I wish that I could have done something more.
If you were called to testify against him, would you do that?
There are a lot of people who were checking their Rolodexes and making sure they weren't at particular parties because I think it can ruin careers.
I thought Puffy was a phony. I thought he pretended to be like a gangster, pretended to be tough, where in reality, he was the first to go to bed.
I mean, there's the music and then there is the person making the music.
Piers, there are 3 deadly people on this panel, me, you, and DJ Vlad. They do not like the fact that the 3 of us are here talking right now.
Okay.
The P. Diddy scandal has rocked the music industry to its core, and new tremors are reverberating daily. A slew of new lawsuits makes damning claims about more sexual abuse, including with a 13-year-old girl. 50 Cent says he's been raising the alarm for more than a decade. The 6 of Diddy's children say their father is a victim of a grand conspiracy theory. Every day, there are new and damning allegations from the people who knew him best. And over the next hour or so, we're going to hear even more of them. Well, joining me now is the podcaster and commentator Jason Lee.
I still can't believe all this is going down, man. I can't believe it.
Who represented Johnny Depp in his defamation case against Amber Heard. The former Diddy publicist and host of the Naughty But Nice podcast, Rob Shuter, and from Vlad TV, DJ Vlad. Welcome to all of you. I'm going to start first by talking to Mayla Morales, who worked as Sean Combs' makeup artist for many years, was also friends with 𝗟𝗓𝗄𝗢, as well as Diddy's deceased partner, Kim Porter. Well, welcome to Uncensored, Mayla. Just to paint a picture of how well you know P. Diddy, how long did you work for him?
I worked with Sean Combs in 2000, early 2000, until 2005.
She looks so nervous already, man. She looks so nervous.
So around
As well
5
as
years
Kim
or so.
Porter. I was
5
years or so, yes.
And how much time did you spend with him?
I spent a lot of obviously I did his male grooming. So we did a lot of, it was strictly professional, and we spent video shoots, photo shoots. I traveled the world with Kim and Sean because, he invented the he invented the entourage. So I would travel with Kim and Puff to Saint-Tropez to make sure that Kim was ready for the paparazzi.
And what was he like? I mean, when you were around him then, albeit this is quite a long time ago, 20 years ago, but what was your assessment, being that close to him for that length of time? What was your assessment of his character?
Well, Puff was a perfectionist, and he was just a completely hard worker. He wanted everything to look grandioso. And, he taught me really everything I know about the industry, as far as being super professional, super just, everything was so just grandioso.
But has your view now changed?
He pushing. He ready to start pushing.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, this is 24 years later, and it's shocking to hear all these allegations. It's completely shocking.
Shocking.
Wait a minute, 24 years later. First she said she worked with her 5 years, and 24 years later, so it was 5 years ago. I'm guessing. I'm kind of confused on that part because I'm listening to what these people are saying now.
To hear them, is it surprising, given everything that you may have gleaned about him in that period?
It is surprising. Yes, it is. I mean, it's been, hearing all of this. I mean, I owe a lot to Puff with my career because, I've worked with the biggest photographers in the world, the biggest directors in the world, and,
She's being careful.
We would go to Paris Fashion Weeks. I mean, we were running around with the biggest names in the business. So, to hear all of this happening right now it's shocking.
You see, the reason I'm curious why you find it that shocking is that in 2010, you were very close to Cassie as well. And we've seen this horrific video, which emerged last year at CNN from several years prior, where he literally... Well, I'm just going to ask you, I'm going to just let the viewers know where I'm going here. There was this appalling video that we're now seeing where he literally beats her up in public, in a hotel, on a floor of a hotel, but in a public area. And it was absolutely despicable. Now, you said about that it wasn't a one-off, that when Cassie was beaten up on a separate occasion in 2010, you took her in, you said. We didn't even want to go to hospital, so I had a doctor friend of mine come and take a look at her. She was badly bruised, had knots on her head and a black eye. We were scared. I still have PTSD talking about it. That's...
See, this is where I'm like, you knew this was going on. So imagine how much stuff she's seen that she's not talking about. And she helped cover up by doing the makeup and, covering up the bruises and different things. This is weird, man. I'm like, you should have said something to somebody.
That's nearly 15 years ago.
15 years ago.
My
now watch how she
question
chokes
to you
up.
is, given what you witnessed then, given what you knew had happened, And given what we all then saw with the second incident on that horrific video, actually, why are you that surprised about these allegations that have come to light?
Why are you surprised?
I mean, for me, it's like it's just reliving the whole situation over again, and that to me is the shocking part of it. You know, I block that. That's PTSD. That's trauma that I experienced from back then, and reliving it is really, you know, difficult for me to experience because I've known Cassie since she was 17 years old, and I was like her big sister, as well as her makeup artist. And just watching all of this it's absolutely shocking.
Right, but
if you are a big sister to her, I think you should have said something or done something or tried to get her out of that. That's just my opinion.
I mean, the reality is
it's disgusting.
But
the
just
reality
based on
is,
what
watch
you
this.
witnessed that day in 2010, and based on what we've all seen in that other video, the guy, at the very least, was a person who beat up women. And yet the picture you painted of him, of your time with him, you know, in the early 2000s, was actually very positive. And you say you're very surprised and shocked by what's now come out. I wouldn't be shocked if I'd seen what happened to Cassie at first hand and the way you did. I think this guy's a monster, and I'm curious why that isn't what you're thinking, or have you blanked that out?
Oh, I've absolutely blanked it out all these years because it's something that I was very focused on my career. And so what happened then, you know, obviously we couldn't discuss with anyone. So I had to like blank it out of my brain.
Do you wish with hindsight...
I had to continue on and...
Right, but do you wish with hindsight, and I'm not accusing you of doing anything wrong. I'm just saying, do you wish with hindsight to prevent him treating other people in such a horrendous manner? Do you wish you'd taken it to the police, to authorities?
Of course, I mean, absolutely. But, you know, these are things that we couldn't do because we were terrified of Sean.
Right, see, that's really interesting because that wasn't how you described him at the start of this. So tell me about that. Clearly there's another side to this guy.
That's crazy. He is saying to her, well, you said, you know, all these great things about him, and he helped me get my career going and all this stuff, like go Puffy, so to speak. But you have seen him and you helped him cover up some of this. Oh my God. And you saying you was terrified of him. You was terrified of him yourself. So I feel sorry for her. This is where I start turning to say, you know what? When you looking at this on the outside looking in, you could say, I would have done this and I would have done that. But if you in the middle of this stuff and you like, I can't believe this going on. If I tell somebody what's going on, they're not going to believe me. So she might have been a victim of that.
To the one that you painted when we first started talking. And the other side to him is appalling, isn't it? I mean, he wielded this power, this influence, this terror over you. Tell me about that.
I mean, like I said, like at the beginning of, you know, my career with Puff, you know, it was just like, you know, we were rising to the top. And like, when it got to the point with Cassie, it was like very difficult for me to like, just, I mean, deal with that. Like like even right now, it's just, it gives me like trauma. And so watching all these allegations unfold, I mean, being an industry professional, that's all I cared about. And like, I don't know what goes on like behind closed doors. So that's not, you know, that's not something for me to like even think about. And so when, you know, watching this unfold, it's been really difficult for me to like, you know, like stomach.
Right, but it wasn't, I mean, just respectfully, it wasn't behind
push
closed
one
doors,
more
because in
time.
2010, Cassie came to you after he beat her up.
Well, no, but I was there. I was actually with her that night.
Right, but that's what I mean, is that you knew it was happening because you were there. Do you feel any sense of guilt that you didn't report it?
Of course, absolutely. I feel a lot of guilt. I mean, I've been feeling that this whole entire year, you know, because I wish that I could have done something more. But at the time, we were both very terrified. So it's like, what were we supposed to do?
Put her on the stand.
This
That's
is
all
a
I
quote
keep
from
thinking.
you. We were always scared of Puff. He's a powerful person. We don't know what would have happened to us if we'd spoken out. He could make you disappear. I mean, that sounds like you're saying he would basically have you killed.
I mean, who knows? Who knows? We were just scared.
Did you
Period.
genuinely think he might have you killed?
No, I don't. I was just saying that because that's something that, you know, it's a thought. It's just not. I don't know if it would happen. It was a thought.
Well,
obviously.
that's a pretty extraordinary thought to have, Mayla, about someone, isn't it? That they have the potential capability to do that.
Well, it was a thought.
Did you fear he might kill Cassie?
I don't know if I mean, like I said, I don't know. That's not something that, you know, like I have no idea. It's just, you know, to fear that, yes, but you know, to actually like, I can't answer that question. I really can't. It's not.
He came out,
you know,
Diddy, after the second attack that we knew about. There have been reports of multiple others. He put a video apology out. Let's take a look at this.
My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day.
What do you make of that video?
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I just it was. I didn't believe it.
Right, because you knew he'd done it before.
See how he pushing? He is pushing her to the limit. Because you knew he had done it before. This is not the first time he did it. You knew he done it before. Beat up on that girl. Poor thing. What is wrong with you, Puffy?
I mean,
what is wrong with you?
I just it was. I didn't believe it.
Right, because you knew he'd done it before.
Exactly. I mean, if he's done it before, then, you know,
if watch your words you're using. You covering up stuff. You can clearly tell she is afraid and she is trying to pick her words. She's trying to cover up stuff. Wait a minute, man. Listen, he said.
What do you make of that video?
What do you make of that video? I don't believe it.
I mean,
because you knew he'd done it before.
It was.
Yes.
I didn't believe it.
I didn't believe it. Right.
Because you knew he'd done it before.
Exactly. I mean, if he's done it before, then, you know, making an apology letter or apology video, that just holds no value for me.
There are a lot of rumours that he may have had some involvement in Kim's death. What do you feel about those rumours?
I mean, I don't know. I can't answer that question. I mean, those are rumors, and that's not something that I can answer.
Given everything that you've now read and heard about him,
that's the smartest thing she said. That's the smartest thing she said.
Those are rumors, and that's not something that I can answer.
Given everything that you've now read and heard about him, do you think it's possible?
Possibly. I don't know. Like I said, I can't answer that question.
The indictments against him center around these freak-off parties where it's alleged a lot of coercion, assault, abuse, drugs, and so on took place. Did you know about these parties? Did you ever attend them?
Absolutely not. I mean, I was there just to do my job, and I don't know anything about those parties. Like, I'm actually in shock to hear about them at this point. Like, I was there to do my job during the working hours, and then I would go home and work the next day. I mean, I had nothing to do with that. Absolutely not.
Was it not common knowledge that he had these late after parties, these freak-offs?
Not for me. I had no idea.
She is terrified.
What do you think is going to happen to him, Milo?
I mean, I'm not really sure. I mean, I'm not sure. It's just,
Wow.
it makes me very sad to see, you know, the outcome of all of this. Like, just to see his legacy, like, where it is now and how we started. So it makes me very sad.
Do you, I mean, his children have come out with a powerful statement saying, the past month has devastated our family. Many have judged both him and us based on accusations, conspiracy theories, and false narratives that have spiraled into absurdity on social media. We stand united supporting you, Puffy, every step of the way. We hold on to the truth, knowing it will prevail and nothing will break the strength of our family. We miss you and love you, Dad. Now, you would expect kids to support their father, but the sheer welter of allegations, the horrific detail that's contained in them, the fact that this has all been run by the FBI, who obviously have, you know, pretty much an impeccable record of conviction with these kind of cases, it is more likely than not now that he's never coming out of prison.
And what do I think about it?
Yeah.
I feel very sad for his children, especially his children, because
Me too.
I mean, they didn't ask for this, and now they have no mother, and they're not going to have a father, and that really that's devastating for me. Like, the children are, I don't know what I don't know how to look at this.
Marta, just for me, what's your biggest regret with all this, given what's now been coming out?
My biggest regret is not coming forward to the police about what happened in 2010.
Have you now been approached to
But
talk?
obviously-
Have they asked you about that now to do a formal interview?
No.
Are you expecting them to?
I hope not. I mean, I just, this has all been very traumatic for me, like all of this.
But if you were called to testify against him, would you do that?
I don't, no.
That's messed up.
You wouldn't.
Wait a minute. Did she say I don't know, or did she just say no? See, this is the things that I'm checking out.
I don't, no.
I don't know.
You wouldn't.
No, I don't think so.
Milo, listen, I know it's very difficult for you. And like I said, I'm not making any suggestion that you knew about any of this other than obviously what you witnessed with poor Cassie. And I appreciate
Shame
you
on
joining
you.
me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, let me turn to the panel now to talk about all this. Jason,
I haven't watched the rest of this, and this is kind of lengthy. I don't remember. Most of the time I'm listening to this while I got the, you know, like a podcast. I'm listening, soaking up information because, like I said, man, I was a Bad Boy fan. It taught me how to produce music. Bad Boy. Any music they put out, I would listen to it 100 times over and try to make my music sound like theirs. So I went up to Bad Boy's record label and everything, trying to get in. You know, I've done all that. If they was anywhere close to town, I was there. You know, so this is real close to me, man. And if somebody has done something and you can be a witness and just tell the truth about what you've seen. If you're saying that you was like a big sister or sister to Cassie, you should testify. You know, and then again, maybe just because she's on Morgan's show, she might say, no, I won't testify. Because if she says now that she would testify, maybe Puffy and his clique was going to go after her. But if she being subpoenaed to testify, I don't know. Maybe I don't know that much about. Does she have to testify if she's been subpoenaed to come to court to testify, and then you spill the guts and you will cry and say, I can't believe you all are making me do this. I don't know what that man has in his mother, his kids. They got the power to off me. Are y'all gonna protect me? You know, that's deep, man. This is hard. This is real hard. So, but to sit there and say that no, I won't testify against him, and the scared you are, the more they will come after you. If you stand up and say, "Yet you daggone straight, I testify," because now that it's all out, everybody knows, and I was there, so I know that what I say will hold weight because I helped cover up her bruises. But I was scared too. I ain't know what to do. I kept telling her she should leave, but she stayed. So what I supposed to do? You know, I kept telling her to leave, but she stayed. If that happened, you know, I don't know. It's deep, man. This is a dude. Think about it from both sides. Look at it from both sides, man. Because at first, I was shaming her. I was shaming her real hard. What? Then I started thinking that she's a female, man. You can hear it in her voice that she is afraid. She is afraid, and I can't believe that she came on that show. So, hey, y'all put in the comments. Let me know. Should she testify? Should she have said something in the way back then? Because if I'm a police officer and you got this big star and you saying some stuff about this big star, then you got to be sure before I start reporting this, and then Puffy got enough money to try to bribe the police. I'm the police, right? And be like, yo, man, I give you $8 million to make this go away. Nobody will know about it. And you're like, that's tough, man. That is tough, man. Making somebody a millionaire just to keep their mouth shut. Would you do that? Would you do it though? It's the question. Would you do it? So everybody got a number. I keep saying that to people, man. Everybody got a number, man. And you don't know until you in that position. And I'm looking at her that way. You in that position and you like, I'm just doing my job. I'm gonna cover up these bruises. Shame on you. So I don't know, man. Look here, I'm gonna get on up out of here. Y'all let me know in the comments. Y'all take it light, take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out, man. I pray for all the victims, man. This is so sad. This is sad. Hey, beautiful. Got to do these reactions, baby. Got to do these reactions. I'm going to call you as soon as I'm finished. And I'm hoping to God that we get some. Oh, okay, there's 5 minutes. Whoa. What is up, YouTube? How y'all doing? Gene, the bodyguard, man. This dude right here is spilling the beans all over the place. Wrote a book and all this good stuff, man. Shout out to Gene, man, for coming up, stepping up to the plate. The more people step to the plate, the more the German Shepherd ears go up on the criminal justice system, the police, and they start investigating. So little by little, it took all these years to hear these people and say, dang, I think what he's saying is true. So, hey, the shocking truth about why Diddy fired Farnsworth, super duper producer and guy that was in Bad Boy Camp and everything, doing a great job and all that good stuff. So let's check this bad boy out. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell, man. We are trying to grow our channel, man. So help support while we bring y'all this shocking.
You got a lot of people, man,
info.
that's wondering why Farnsworth Bentley, why he hasn't came out and defended Diddy. They was real cool at one point, so.
Well, I was there when Farnsworth Bentley got his actual name. How they came up with the name and everything. We were sitting in front of the apartment building on 74th and Park Avenue. It was me, him, Tony De Niro. Puff was upstairs. They was trying to figure out, he had became Puff, one of Puff's personal assistants. You understand?
It's
to
getting
make
cold,
sure all Puff shit is there when we get ready to go. Everything that's supposed to be in order. That was Farnsworth Bentley's job. When Puff has to go to restaurants or place like that, you know, he made sure everything was straight with that. You know what I'm saying? And he had another assistant too. But Farnsworth Bentley was his personal assistant, put out his clothes, told him what he should wear, all that, like a stylist and personal assistant all together.
Okay.
You know? So we was in front of the house and
I thought he was a producer. See? I'm learning as I go. So my bad. See, I love when I make mistakes because I like to correct them. Because see, I'm an old head. I don't care. I'm human. Sometimes I'll make a mistake. But I thought Farnsworth was one of the producers that helped make the music. But anyway.
And, this dude, Tony De Niro, he played guitar in that Bad Boy for Life. The black dude, not the white guy. The black dude who played the guitar, that's Tony De Niro.
Okay.
I think he might be from California or something. So Tony De Niro was like, yo, we got to think of a name for you, man. And if you're going to be his personal assistant and slash butler slash umbrella carrier, whatever you going to do, you understand? We got to think of a name for you. We're going to try to make you like Bentley or either Farnsworth or either Bentley. You gotta be, you know, you gotta have that kind of persona. You gotta dress all the time, be neat, and the whole 9 yards. And then the dude, Derek, was playing with him like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know how to do that. I could be over the top. You know, he was acting like that. You know what I'm saying? I could be over the top. So he was saying that. And the dude, Tony De Niro, said, we gotta figure out a name for you, man. It's gotta be on the level of, you know, those characters. He said, you gotta be like Farnsworth, you gotta be like Bentley. He said, fuck it, we're just gonna call you Farnsworth Bentley. And he said, I like it. And they start calling him that.
Farnsworth
His name
Bentley.
Farnsworth Bentley. I said, these motherfuckers corny. You know, like I was like, yo, believe this. But he was always right there, but not like at nighttime when we was at doing things, he wasn't around, bro. He was only there when the cameras was there and shit like that. You know, I don't know how much he could do. I don't know if he would say anything because he probably signed the ND, a non-disclosure, and he don't want to say anything against Puff anyway because Puff got shit on him. And I ain't talking about no sexual shit, none of that shit. The nigga was stealing, bro. Yo, bro. The niggas I don't want to put that on sticky fingers. That nigga right there, bro, don't lay nothing down around him. You heard me? Don't lay nothing down around dude right there. Dog, Jennifer Lopez had these boots, they cost $5,000. I'm like, what kind of fucking boots cost $5,000? Now you gotta realize this is like in 2000, early 2000. These boots cost $5,000. And because she was gonna be out of the country or something like that, she didn't have them come to her house down in the village because she would have never got it because they'd be stealing her stuff down there at our apartment. So she had them come to Puff house. She wanted these boots so bad. She was mad. They looked through everything trying to find Jennifer boots. Cause Puff had like Puff, people used to just give him shit and send him shit from everywhere. So he had this room, this mail room in his house with numbers just that he never even opened. But I don't know how Farnsworth-Bentley found that but we went over there to his house and we found a lot of Jennifer and everybody else's that belonged to Puff.
Whoa.
I guess Puff had too much stuff in the room and he was just keeping them for it.
And you seen this with your own eyes? That's crazy, man.
My own eyes, bro. We went to his apartment.
He don't even seem like that type of dude, yo, but damn.
Security also, we went over there, man. They had to do shit, bro. And that's why Puff had stopped messing with him.
Wow.
And then he goes get a show. Puff ain't say nothing. He went and got a show of how to be teaching thugs how to be the gentleman. I hope the first thing he taught them motherfuckers is, don't steal.
Oh my God. So that's, oh my gracious. Man. Well, let's hear his side of the story. That's what I want to do. I want to hear his side of the story because maybe that's the only way he can get a bag. Ain't that how the youngest said? You know, I'm gonna get my bag. Maybe Puffy wasn't paying him what he thought he was worth, so he had to, you know, Puffy, you ain't using this stuff anyway. You don't even look at it, so I'm gonna take it home. I don't know. It's always two sides to a story, man. I'm just giving him. First of all, there is no excuse for stealing. It's no excuse for stealing. So if you feel as though you're not getting paid what you're worth, then you need to find another job. That's what you should have did instead of stealing something. That's the, you know, everybody know that's the right answer. But you're going to sit there and try to help yourself to some things. Wow. It's almost like you work a job and they got, you know, all these pencils, all these supplies, and you help yourself to a couple of pencils and put them in your car or pens, you know, take some home because the kids need some extra stuff when they go to school. So you just help yourself to some small stuff that ain't nobody going to miss. So maybe he looked at it like that. Who knows, man? I mean, hey, we got to, you know, God dang, man. So I hope he doing all right, man. Puffy ain't kill him at least. Look here, man. We got some more stuff coming for the Puffy thing. Like I was saying, man, I've been a big fan of Bad Boy, not necessarily a Puff Daddy himself. I was a Biggie fan, and I used to like that. What you gonna do? Creek caller, shack caller, brawler. We be dipping in the bins with the spoilers, and oh man, all them songs, man. Craig Mack and all them. Rest in peace to Craig Mack. Rest in peace to Biggie. I'm gonna get on up out of here. Y'all take it light, take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out. I wanted to get some water, so those two are done. This is 23 minutes. Law and crime. P. Diddy lawyer judge to approve new Philippine fillings in sex trafficking. We're gonna get some water, man. I don't know. I can't believe I don't have no water. I got me some water. I got some snacks.
New updates in the Sean Diddy.
Oh, man. Let's hit refresh. Should we hit the refresh? Because it might start all over anyway. Let's hit the refresh. Up. What is up, YouTube? How y'all doing? Yeah. Check it out, man. P. Diddy, man. Lawyers, big judge. They begged the judge to approve a new. Basically, he's trying to get out. He's trying to get out. New filings for sex trafficking. This is number 4. Haven't came up yet, y'all. We don't know the. Only thing I know is, y'all put in the comments, should Diddy get out? Because a lot of people say, and a lot of the lawyers and stuff are saying, you know, he deserves a fair trial. He should be out on bail, get out on bail and all this stuff, man. And I think that they know what's on them tapes. And they probably say, Judge, you need to see this. Judge, you need to see this. And now they get ready to appeal it again. So long story short, I'm not going to talk too much because this is going to be a long video, man. So let's just get into the video. But, and I'll say something at the end. So y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Let's check it out.
Case, the rapper's lawyers make a new bid for bail. His team and prosecutors spar over a gag order about what can and cannot be said about this case. And Busta Rhymes weighs in, too, on how people should be thinking about and responding to Combs' legal saga. His answer may surprise you. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
I think Busta Rhymes is on them tapes. I think Busta Rhymes had a lot of things that he should not have been doing. So check out Busta Rhymes also.
Hey everybody, this is a Law and Crime legal alert. A mother was recently awarded millions of dollars in a lawsuit against baby formula manufacturers after her premature formulas Similac you may qualify to present it. Visit babyformuladamages.com. As the embattled rapper and music producer sits in the Metropolitan Detention Center as he waits trial, which is currently scheduled for May of 2025. As we know, he's facing sex crimes charges of racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, transportation to engage in prostitution. Now, the first update for you is actually regarding his bail. And as you might recall, 2 different judges denied him pretrial release, denied him bail. Some of the major factors that were considered by the court was that he's a danger to society, a flight risk, and perhaps most importantly, that he allegedly had been improperly contacting witnesses. Now, Combs has denied these accusations, and in fact, in a recent filing with the Second Circuit Court of Appeals, where he is appealing this bail issue after, again, he was denied by 2 judges pretrial release, he says, and this is an interesting argument, Mike Jeffries, the former head of Abercrombie & Fitch, who was just arrested for sex trafficking, pursuant to federal charges in New York, why does he get bail? Because he was let out in bail. That's an important point. In fact, in Combs' filing, he states, Mr. Combs is entitled to release, which has been granted to many similarly situated defendants, including just yesterday, a CEO accused of sex trafficking dozens of young men, including through witness intimidation. The government's request for detention is not based on any genuine risk of danger or obstruction. It is based on a desire to punish Mr. Combs. I'll tell you what, making that comparison is a pretty compelling argument. And I'll tell you what, let's go a little bit more into this legal brief to the Second Circuit, because I actually think from my legal point of view, Sean Combs' team makes a number of strong arguments for why he should be released. So let's get into this. So his lawyers start by saying the government failed to present clear and convincing evidence below that this is the rare case justifying pretrial detention. It offered no legitimate reason why the proposed release conditions would be insufficient to mitigate the risks it claims exists. So clear and convincing evidence means you're proving something is substantially more likely to be true. It's a lower standard than beyond a reasonable doubt. It's kind of like a middle standard. And Combs' lawyers are like, the government hasn't shown why detention is necessary here. First off, they're saying the government is citing the 2016 tape of Combs purportedly beating his ex-girlfriend Cassandra Ventura in a hotel hallway, that is proof of his dangerousness should he be allowed out. But Combs' lawyers say this is an 8.5-year-old video, and, quote, although Mr. Combs' conduct on the video is indefensible, he has apologized for that conduct, which must be evaluated in the unique context of the toxic romantic relationship in which it arose. But regardless, that conduct and that relationship are long in the past. The conduct in the video is not evidence that Mr. Combs will engage in any future violence. Now, the government would say that she was actually escaping one of these freak-offs, which is a key component of the indictment, and they've also said that these freak-offs extended much past 2016, that it was happening also, I believe, in 2024. But despite that, Combs' lawyers are saying that the conditions that we're proposing in our bail package, such as no contact with any women other than family members and his lawyers, that negates that risk that he would be a danger to women. And when it comes to the allegation that Combs was reaching out to witnesses improperly, well, they're saying, you know what, even the government says, yeah, Combs was reaching out to one of the witnesses, but this was months before the lawsuit was filed, or that specific lawsuit was filed. His lawyers say his contacts were in no way obstructive, and the fact that the witness and Mr. Combs had 128 phone contacts, that doesn't prove anything. And they also say, quote, of course, the government has the actual communications and would describe them for the court if they truly revealed obstruction, but for the third time, it has failed to describe them because they reveal nothing of the sort. So this idea of what really is the government's evidence about obstruction. And then Combs' lawyers say the government can't even argue that he was engaging in obstruction by contacting grand jury witnesses. Quote, one witness contacted Mr. Combs, not the other way around. The government fails to address this, nor does it respond to Mr. Combs' argument that the bare fact that two individuals spoke is not evidence of obstruction because the government cannot prove Mr. Combs intended to tamper with these witnesses. He did not. The government's silence underscores why the district court erred in relying on the government's unfounded assertions. So Combs' lawyers are also saying if you look at the past cases, you need to have substantial evidence of obstruction in order to justify pretrial detention. And they say the case that the government is relying on, saying you only need to show one episode of witness tampering to justify detention, Combs' lawyers say no. That case they're relying on was about a decision to revoke bail once it was granted, not ordering detention at the start of the case. The defense says the bar to have bail revoked is much lower. You don't need as much evidence to justify that. It's not clear and convincing. That's not the standard as we have with Combs' issue here. So that's a really interesting argument. And despite that, Combs' lawyers are saying in that case that the prosecutors are relying on, the government in that case, they had 3 days of hearings, they had 12 witnesses, they had all this proof to show that the defendant had engaged in witness tampering. Here, there was no hearing, there was no witnesses. They're basically making the argument that the court just took the government's word for it that Combs was obstructing. And Combs' lawyers say the government has no actual evidence, just the allegations in the indictment. And they say that's a problem. You can't rely on the indictment.
Man, hold up. Wait a minute, man. You're going too deep for me. I know one thing, man. The only thing I know, they talked about the other guy had similar charges and everything, and he's out on bail. And Puffy's not. I don't know if he had 900 or 90 terabytes of information of these freaknicks and all this, and then the bottle of lubes that we know the baby oil had something spiked in it, and spiking people drinks and all that type of stuff. So the cases are similar, but Puffy, you done went deep. You went too deep. You know, that's what I'm thinking.
An indictment, at most, reflects a grand jury's finding of probable cause that the defendant committed a specific offense. It does not reflect any finding of clear and convincing evidence, which is the standard required to justify detention. And here it is unclear whether the grand jury ever even found probable cause to believe that Mr. Combs committed any witness tampering. There's no obstruction count. That's true. He's not charged directly with obstruction. What they're arguing is that, yes, the grand jury, they found probable cause of racketeering conspiracy, and yes, obstruction is one of the underlying listed acts of that charge, but there were a lot more that were listed. And the grand jury didn't necessarily find that obstruction was committed. They could have said there's probable cause of racketeering because of sex trafficking, because of bribery, because of arson, because of kidnapping. Maybe not necessarily obstruction. They didn't say that. So these are all these other underlying acts that the grand jury could have relied on to say that this is a racketeering conspiracy. I think that's a good point. I think that's a good point. And then Combs' team doubles down that their bail package, it's sufficient. We've mentioned this before on Sidebar. Home confinement, 24/7 monitoring by a private security team, $50 million bail, no internet, no phone use, limited visitors. The visitor logs would be provided to the court. And this part's interesting because you see the government had previously argued that it's not fair to have a two-tier justice system where Combs would be permitted to stay free on sex trafficking and racketeering charges because he has the financial resources to turn his home into a private prison, whereas you have a defendant of lesser means who couldn't put forward that package, and therefore they would be denied bail, they would be locked up while waiting trial. That's not fair. Combs' team says, well, wait a second. We're offering this package and these conditions because Combs is wealthy. The government said he's a risk of flight. He's a danger because he has this money and resources. So the reason that this bail package looks like this, the reason it's so expensive, the reason he's essentially turning his home into a prison is because this would be the only way to ensure all of the concerns the government has. That's why it looks like this. The government, they say, can't have it both ways. It can't use Mr. Combs' wealth as both a detention sword and shield. Another good argument, in my opinion. And Combs' lawyers say when it comes to flight risk, the government can't prove it. Quote, Mr. Combs clearly intends to face and contest the charges, not flee, nor do significant penalties and serious reputational harm demonstrate any risk of flight. The government has already destroyed Mr. Combs' reputation, and his only hope is to stand and fight, which he intends to do not only on this front, but also against dozens of civil lawsuits. As for possible penalties, none could compare to the prospect of abandoning his 7 children, his mother, and other family members, as well as the remarkable career he has built for himself. So that's his argument for why bail should be granted and why he should be released pending trial. Now, having said all of that,
yes,
you might have seen on a previous sidebar that we discussed this, how Combs has actually requested that the Second Circuit, again, the court he's making all these arguments in front of, that they don't do anything yet. They don't act on his appeal yet. It's called hold the appeal in abeyance. And that is because Combs says, wait. I don't want you to do anything. I want to first ask the new trial judge overseeing this case, Judge 𝗟𝗜𝗡𝗞𝗦, if we can get bail. Let me go to him first. Let me try to convince him. If that doesn't work, then yeah, we'll come back to you guys. And I'll tell you what, based on the court docket, it appears the Second Circuit granted that motion. So now it looks like that bail issue is going to go in front of the new judge. Now, let me get to the heart of another big
which he
update
denied
in
already.
This case. You might recall, if you've been following this case, that back on October 10th, Combs had appeared in front of Judge 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗢 at a hearing. And at that hearing, a number of issues were discussed, including discovery. A potential trial date was set for May 5th, 2025. But there was something else that was discussed, a gag order. You see, Combs and his legal counsel, they have accused the government of engaging in misconduct. In a filing leading up to that hearing, Combs' defense counsel blamed the government, more accurately, the Department of Homeland Security, of leaking information and making inappropriate comments to the media. And they asked the court to schedule an evidentiary hearing to get to the bottom of what's going on here. More specifically, they allege that the Department of Homeland Security agents leaked that infamous 2016 videotape of Combs and Ventura that I mentioned before.
Do they have proof? Do they have proof that they are the ones that leaked it? That's what I want to know.
And they say this leak happened after the raids on his properties in March, and this is before he was ultimately arrested in September. But they're saying Homeland Security leaked that information. And they also argue that Homeland Security agents were making statements to the media too that were inappropriate. So prosecutors responded to this by saying, first of all, our office had nothing to do with this. Okay, we had nothing to do with a leak of any information or making any of these comments. But number two, it's our understanding that the Department of Homeland Security, they didn't have the 2016 videotape prior to CNN publishing it. So Judge 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗢𝗡 reserved ruling at the time on whether to order an evidentiary hearing to sort all of this out. And by the way, potentially whether this 2016 tape, if it was leaked, whether it has to be suppressed, meaning it can't come into trial. That would be a huge win for Sean Combs. But 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗢𝗡 indicated he wants to review each side's arguments, which are due by November 7th, and then he'll see if a hearing is warranted. But what the judge did do is agree to a gag order. And this was something the defense had asked for as well. They want to stop the government from saying anything, from disclosing any material. The federal prosecutors at the hearing were like, okay, we'll agree to that, but the defense, they need to agree to a gag order too, because they say the defense hasn't been so clean in this. They called out Combs' attorney Mark Agnifilo for doing an interview with TMZ right after Combs was arrested, where he called the criminal case, quote, the takedown of a successful black man, essentially making this look like a racist prosecution. So Judge 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗢𝗡 said both sides have to work out a gag order. Okay, and that brings us to today's update. So in a letter to the court, Combs' defense counsel has addressed this gag order and what has been happening behind the scenes. So Combs' lawyers are saying, look, court, we have this proposed order. We think it's designed to prevent leaks. We think it's designed to prevent information from being made to the public and the media. And then it says, quote, the proposal also reinforces the parties' existing obligations under the protective order and local criminal rule 23.1. We've discussed this local rule before. It's a local rule for the Southern District of New York where this case is being prosecuted. And it explains how lawyers and government agents and officers, they can't release non-public information about a criminal case if there is a significant danger that it would affect a defendant's constitutional right to a fair trial or it would prejudice him or the case in some way.
Yes.
Now, Combs' counsel indicates that they weren't able to come to an agreement with prosecutors on this proposed gag order. This is what the defense wants this order to look like. It's not an agreement between the two sides. Quote, unfortunately, however, we are unable to submit Exhibit A as a joint proposal because after extensive back and forth since the October 10th conference, the parties were unable to reach agreement on the order. We did narrow the disputes, however, and understand that most, but not all, of the language in Exhibit A is acceptable to the government. At this juncture, the court's intervention is critical because agents involved in the investigation have continued their leaks and their damaging and false information to the press in the wake of the October 10th status conference, only heightening the need for the gag order to be issued as soon as possible. Wow. So basically accusing the government again of leaking information or saying things that are inappropriate. So in this letter, they cited as an example of this how Deadline.com reported in an October 15, 2024 article that a law enforcement source with knowledge of the case stated, referencing the defense's October 15, 2024 motion, this is all about shaming the alleged victims. It's part of the defense offense course of action, and they'll try anything. So the argument is that out-of-court statements like this could potentially affect a jury pool. It could affect how Combs is able to present his case or maybe what witnesses are called. And everyone, by the way, can agree that out-of-court statements could potentially be problematic. And to be clear, Combs' defense team is not blaming the prosecutors of allegedly doing this, but only authorities that are connected to the investigation like Department of Homeland Security. But they're saying, look, court, this is the problem. We and prosecutors, we can't agree. Combs' lawyers say, quote, the government continues to resist language that will ensure that the order covers all the agents who may be exposed to grand jury materials and other confidential information. The government wanted the order only to cover agents assigned to the investigation rather than any agents who acquire confidential information about the investigation and objected to the specific reference to the Department of Homeland Security. These objections would defeat the purpose of the order. Whether an agent is officially assigned to the investigation or not should not matter. So Combs wants this gag order to apply to anyone who may be in a position to potentially leak information. So
that's interesting because if you can't unsee that video of him beating and kicking Cassidy in that hotel room, you can't unsee that. But if you can imagine that you didn't see it with all this stuff, yeah, that's deep right there. That's real deep,
government response in a letter of their own to Judge 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗢𝗡. And they're basically saying, court, adopt our language, adopt our gag order. They say this is the main disagreement we're having. The government writes, the only remaining disagreement between the parties is the language concerning who would be bound by the order. The government's proposed order reflects the reality that the government has two separate obligations: maintaining the secrecy of grand jury material and complying with the directives set forth in Local Criminal Rule 23.1. The parties agree that the government attorneys assigned to the matter and staff members working under their supervision or at their direction are bound by both obligations. They're meaning the prosecutors and their team. However, the parties disagree about the extent to which law enforcement agents and/or officers may be bound by those obligations. And the prosecutors say that Combs' proposed gag order, it's way too broad. That to have a gag order apply to any local and federal law enforcement agents assisting any aspect of the investigation or prosecution of this case and any related grand jury proceedings, including but not limited to the Department of Homeland Security, that is plainly overbroad. Prosecutors argue it would require the government to be held accountable for potentially thousands of agents in an independent law enforcement agency over whom the government has no authority or oversight. Indeed, the United States Department of Homeland Security employs over 200,000 individuals and includes the investigating agency here, Homeland Security Investigations, in addition to multiple other law enforcement agencies. And they say these agencies have no role in this case whatsoever. Such an order would simply be unenforceable. So what does the government propose? What do they suggest? They write, quote, the government proposes that the court order that 1, local and federal agents who have access to grand jury material not disclose that material in violation of Rule 6E, and 2, local and federal agents assigned to the case comply with Local Criminal Rule 23.1, the one that we mentioned. We've talked about that. But by the way, Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure Rule 6E, that explains that neither prosecutors nor anyone who receives grand jury material, they can't discuss or release information about that. So that's what governs that. And prosecutors have attached their proposed gag order to this letter as well. So what happened next? Well, Combs' defense lawyers responded to this letter from the government, and they are not backing down. They write, quote, as Mr. Combs requested, the order should cover all local and federal law enforcement agents assisting any aspect of the investigation or prosecution of the above referenced case and any related grand jury proceedings, including but not limited to employees of the Department of Homeland Security. They say that that request is not plainly overbroad, but specifically orders any such individuals not to directly or indirectly disclose any grand jury material or other information that would be covered by that local rule, which would include agents making false and damaging statements about Combs that would undermine his right to a fair trial. The purpose of the order is to end what has been a demonstrated history of law enforcement leaks, as well as false and damaging public statements by agents. And Combs' defense team says that Homeland Security especially, they need this order. They need to be put on notice of what they can't do. And they say that this problem is a lot more widespread than we think. Quote, Mr. Combs acknowledges the government's representation that any sensitive information is primarily housed at HSI New York in a restricted database that is accessible only to 3 assigned agents to his case. However, the government ignores the practical realities of how its investigation has unfolded and will continue to unfold, and the history of damaging statements to the press. As just one example, in executing search warrants, many of which were obtained using grand jury materials and other non-public information, the government has relied on multiple other government agents and employees beyond the 3 assigned agents. That cannot be disputed. So again, Combs is asking for a more inclusive, more broad order that would address these concerns. And Combs' lawyers are saying, we need this gag order now. We need it fast. And by the way, Judge 𝗟𝗡𝗡 agreed that there needs to be an order put in place, but they need it now. They need it entered now because Combs' legal team says, quote, the prejudicial leaks will only continue undermining Mr. Combs' right to a fair trial. Now, as Judge 𝗟𝗡𝗡 has to sort all of this out, and as we ironically are focusing on people talking about the case, a well-known figure from the hip-hop world has jumped into the mix. Well, sort of. Busta Rhymes. Now, he has just spoken out in a very important way about this case. And to be clear, a gag order doesn't apply to you or me or celebrities, only government officials and lawyers in the case. So Busta Rhymes, he can talk about this. And he was speaking with Extra at the premiere of Venom, The Last Dance. And he said, quote, his situation, meaning Combs' situation, is not a hip-hop situation. And I also would like for everyone to be mindful of the thirst and the urgency and the need to speak on the situation. I think a lot of times people don't realize how insensitive it could be to have opinions on things that you have no understanding of outside of what you're being told. He continued, I'm going to reserve my opinions and I'm going to wish the best for everyone involved. The one thing that we should take away from what I'm saying is everybody probably need to mind their damn business until the truth is undisputed. At that point, justice needs to be served accordingly for everyone involved. And he has a point, right? You know, this might be surprising to hear, but Sean Combs is innocent. Not only has he not been found guilty yet of any crime in connection with this investigation, but he hasn't been found liable with respect to any of the sexual assault claims that he's facing in any of these lawsuits. These are all allegations, serious allegations, sure, but allegations nonetheless. He does have a right to be heard. He has a right to present a defense. He has a right to a fair trial, a right to an impartial jury. So we shall see where all of this plays out. That's all we have for you right now on updates in the Diddy case. Thanks so much for joining us here on Sidebar, and please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcast.
He has a right to a trial. We have a right. We have a right to our opinion. And these are some strong allegations that he just said. For example, if Homeland Security or whatever, whoever leaked that tape, whoever it was that leaked that, let's say they leaked the tape and we never saw it. Let's say the tape was never leaked. Were they going to play it for the 12 jurors? Because if I was a juror and I seen that video that we seen that went viral online, I think it would have hit me harder. Because I'm just sitting there that we saw it and be like, well, you know, somebody leaked it and all this good information and bad information is behind it. Then, you know, maybe they did leak it to make him look bad because I'm thinking of him bad. So I'm going to try not to. But if I was in the jury seat and I saw that video along with all the other videos, they got 90,000 terabytes. Do y'all know how much that is? We do YouTube and all this stuff, man, and we got a lot of videos that sometimes I go through and delete some. I have a 6 terabyte hard drive, right? That is not even, it's halfway full. 6 terabytes, halfway full, and I do a lot of video recording. 90 terabytes is a lot of footage. That is a hell of a lot of footage. So there's something on them tapes that not one judge, not 2 judges, but 3 judges has denied him bail. There's something on them tapes, and Puffy, I know them judges looking at Puffy saying, you know, we got these tapes that you know what is on it, and you got a nerve to ask for bail? You know, maybe, I don't know. Only thing I do know is Puffy, they got over 3,000 people come forward, and the lawyer guy then took only 120 of these cases. Then you have the other little girl. It is so many people, so much stuff coming out. We just did a video of the makeup lady. They never said her name or anything. I'm trying to get these people names and stuff. She was there, and she helped put the makeup on Cassidy to try to cover it up. And then she had a nerve to say that she looked at Cassidy like she was her big sister. And I'm saying to myself, well, why wouldn't you? She said she was afraid. Everybody was afraid of Puffy. She said that out of her mouth. So I don't know, man. Look here, y'all put in the comments. I don't know why he was saying this. Says this been put up like maybe a day or so. Yeah, this was put up 1 day ago, but he's talking as if he haven't had his third denial yet of bail, and now he's up for his 4th. So, oh my goodness, man, this is, oh man, I'm trying to learn some of the court and document statements and what it mean and what it don't mean. The only thing I know is you can forget all that mess. 120 people. It comes a time in your mind and say you had to do something. 120 people coming forward, all of them want money. All of a sudden, everybody want money. All of a sudden, hell, if that's the case, I need to put me a little something in. I ain't even seen. I seen Diddy 3 times in my life. I ain't talked to him or anything. You know, I seen him. So maybe I need to put a case. Oh man, that's crazy. I'm trying to be serious. I'm trying to make it entertaining, and I'm trying to be myself. But I'll let y'all know, man. I am on this like a hornet. So y'all take it light, take it slow. Y'all tell him Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out. Hooligan, what's up, Hooligan? The network is working overtime, baby. We're working overtime, so yeah. Nah, homie. Let's do this. My man, what's Lil Durk? This is oh man. D1 Music. Is that's who that is? D1, I think. Yeah, D1 Music. Lil Durk murder arrest. I don't know how this is gonna go. We ain't never did a reaction on for Instagram. What is up, YouTube? How y'all doing? Yeah. Oh my gracious! First it was Puffy. First the Fat Boys break up, and now this Puffy. Now this. Little Durk, man, to be honest, I try to keep it real on this channel, man. Lil Durk, murder arrest shows drill rap is a dead end. And I ran across this, and then my people, my YouTube team said that we should do a reaction on this. And oh my gracious. Only thing I know is I'm gonna play this because D1 Music, man. Shout out to D1, man. He's a positive rapper, and he got great music, and I like almost every word that come out of his mouth, man. He is a positive brother, and he don't shy away from any beef. He had some beef with Rick Ross. I was kind of checking that out and everything, and I check out his Instagram. So we on Instagram. I don't know how this is going to work, and I'm hoping that Tahir can do something with this bad boy. So without any further ado, y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Oh, this is going to be a 2-part because what I'm going to do is I'm going to play, I started doing some research on Lil Durk, and when I did the research, I started realizing this is the little guy that made this song, and I was like, that's a nice song. It's been produced well. It hit the charts, and it hit, it was playing on the radio. And then I found out through the other video that I'm going to play that he got an award and everything. So let's just get into it, man, and I'll go through it as I go through it, okay? Let's check this bad boy out.
His favorite rapper just got arrested for murder for hire. And I hope y'all ain't shocked. This is just a regular day in hip-hop. To all the labels who market and promote this type of music, you stupid fools. You allowed this to become mainstream, and you won't even let your own kids listen to it, but you'll push it on our kids, you heard me? You ain't slick. To all the fans who egged this type of beef on for years, you got blood on your hands today, because you ain't worried about Lil Durk. Your life goes on. You somewhere watching football while he's sitting in jail. This is just entertainment to you. To all the media who try to tell D1, man, you just hate, man, you just clout chasing. This is just entertainment. Man, shut up, man. Y'all know better. Lil Durk murder arrest shows drill rap is a dead end. No, you think? Wait, if we rap about killing each other and exterminating each other and sliding on our ops and then living the lifestyle to back up the music we're making, you think it's gonna actually end bad for anybody? Bruh. And to some of you older rappers, you're supposed to be an OG, but you're really a DG, a disappointing grown-up. You knew how this was going to end, but you ain't going to say nothing because you still trying to be relevant yourself by fitting in with what you know is not right. You heard me?
Facts.
Get out of here, man. And to you younger artists, man, to the younger artists, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I got love for y'all. I'm trying to be here and work with y'all. this is how everybody is looking at you. This is all I'm gonna say.
Wait a minute. He said this a pawn. You just a pawn. Wait a minute. This is all I'm gonna say. I wish you could rewind it. We ain't never do nothing from Instagram, man. You just a pawn. You right. You just come on, people. The street. Wait a minute. Let's go to the end.
A lot of little kids' favorite rapper just got arrested for.
Oh, that was the end. Oh man, I have seen so many videos, man, and I can't do it. I tried to do it for views and subscribers, and you know, every time I look in a video, you got your little fingers pointing like you pew pew. You don't want to take a life from this earth. This dude then got arrested because he was getting ready to go get somebody else who killed, I guess, one of his boys or something, right? And the plot thickens, man. So this, oh my God, y'all. So like I said, I don't know too much about him. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna play this. This is explain a lot of stuff that, God dang, man, come on, little bruh. And I had just, right before I came down to do the reaction, Charleston White was talking about him, and even Charleston White had said that I think the brother trying to turn his life around. He done became Muslim. He did a concert where he had all these people, even some of his enemies that, you know, all these people that passed away, he was like paying tribute to all of them, some of the people, and seemed like he trying to change his life and everything. And he got an award and everything. So, hey, let's check this joint out. I'm gonna give him a thumbs up real quick because we give everybody a thumbs up. And check this out real quick, man.
Rap artist Lil Durk allegedly targeted a rival rapper in a murder-for-hire scheme in Los Angeles.
Murder for hire. Oh my God, some type of scheme. You gonna hire somebody to take somebody else off this earth? Nah, cuz I can't hire nobody to do it. If I need somebody taken off this earth, Mike Cross gonna do it himself. And then I would go call the police and say, yeah, he did something he ain't no business doing to one of my people or me, and come get me. I don't mind going to jail for something I believe in. But you gotta do something real crazy. Anyway, man, anyway.
He has been arrested.
As Eyewitness News reporter Annabelle Munoz
Why would
found
you
out,
try to
federal
hire
officials
somebody
say
else?
it was a family member of the intended target who ended up being killed by hitmen.
Trying to keep me down.
He's 32, a successful rapper and a Grammy Award.
I like that song, man. And I didn't even know who. Sometimes I'm listening to the radio as a producer, from a producer's point of view. I'm listening to what's the hottest thing out, and you know, and I'm listening and I'm like, all my life. I like the jingle part of it. It's like a little nursery rhyme jingle. You have to put that in your music. You gotta make it something catchy, and that caught my eye. And I was like, okay, this little brother, he about to go somewhere. Who's gonna be the next superstar from the younger generation is what I'm looking at. And then you turn around and do this. So, and he got an award. He got a Grammy for that joint. Was it a Grammy?
A family member of the intended target who ended up being killed by hitmen.
Trying to keep me down.
He's 32, a successful rapper and a Grammy Award winner. Federal authorities say Lil Durk is also behind an alleged murder-for-hire plot.
It is a very violent crime. You're talking about someone losing their life, and perhaps another individual was the target.
Chicago rapper Durk Banks was arrested near Miami International Airport Thursday night.
Anything you want to say about your son?
His family seen leaving his first court appearance today. A federal complaint says Banks put a bounty on a rival rapper in response to the killing of a close friend in 2020. Roughly 2 years later, this deadly shooting unfolded at a gas station near the Beverly Center in August of 2022. Investigators named several defendants and alleged co-conspirators they say stalked and attempted to murder the rival rapper, and instead ended up killing a relative who was with the target at the time. The indictment says this is a photo of the three individuals who fired gunshots at the busy intersection.
What they have shared so far is a tremendous amount of information, especially as it comes to the planning involved in this alleged hit for hire. Weapons were supplied. Ski masks were supplied. Those weapons were modified to make at least one of them an automatic weapon.
Authorities say Banks flew into Los Angeles the day before the killing by private plane. They also allege the purchase of flights from Chicago to SoCal and a hotel reservation for the alleged co-conspirators was from accounts linked to Banks and his music collective OTF, adding that around that time, iCloud records show that a phone number associated with Banks texted an alleged co-conspirator, quote, "Don't book no flights under no names involved with me." According to the indictment, Banks had made clear in, quote, coded language that he'd pay a bounty for the murder.
People, kids, this is a new day. When you text something, it's there permanently. Y'all don't know this? These street guys supposed to be smart. Y'all don't know this, right? Oh my God, man. You face-to-face verbal exchange. Hope they ain't wearing no wire. Because if they are wearing a wire, you can probably wiggle out of that because that ain't my voice. That's AI generated, you know. But texting from your phone to somebody else's phone, forget about it, man.
Authorities arrested 5 defendants in Chicago Thursday morning and say the FBI learned Banks was booked on 3 international flights before his arrest. If convicted, Banks and the other defendants face a maximum sentence of life in federal prison.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great ABC7 content by clicking the subscribe button for our YouTube channel and download the ABC7 Los Angeles streaming app.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Golly. Little Durk, man. Oh my God, man. Dude, one of the things you and your clique and these guys in the street, man, I want to say this. The police get you all in rooms, keep you there for a long time. And this will happen to a couple of my buddies. They got the information. They already know. The police, the people, they already know who they want. And you're not the person that they want. So they try to do a deal with you to get you to talk or whatever the case may be. But they slick about it. You know, I'm from the streets. I ain't no snitch. I ain't going to say nothing. They ask about your mother and father, or they got all the information. If you got kids, look here, man, you're going to be gone for a long time. You got to think about your kids or think about your parents or whatever the case may be. Then they turn around and give you some information that they probably know that you think they don't know. You don't think the police know this, and they try to say that one of your friends have already turned, and this is what they told me. And you sitting there like, God, dang, he said that? So he already taken a plea. They lying to you. And you're thinking about yourself now. If you don't take a plea, you're going to go down, man. You're going to do 20 years. I ain't trying. Ain't nobody trying to do no jail time, period. So you about to take a, you know, so that way you can see your kids and whatever the case may be. You might be out, whatever. It's a game, man, just like them street games. The police got games. They got honest games that make you talk. Then they leave you in the room by yourself for a little while. Then they see you. Oh, my God. The streets are not as loyal as they used to be. You can ask 6ix9ine that. Y'all know that part. Come on, man. Oh, my God, dog. Look here. I'm going to get on up out of here, man. Lil Durk, man, I'm hoping that you can wiggle your way out of this, man, because I think the brother got a lot of talent, and I think the brother need to focus on using your talent to do more positive things, just like Charleston White was saying that you was turning around. You got to leave them streets alone, man. If you got a way out, you know, get up there and then reach back and try to get some of your homies out of there, man. Please. Them streets ain't like they used to be, man. I'm going to get on up out of here, man. Y'all take it light, take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out. Oh, my goodness. Okay, I wanted to double those up. So, bam. Bam. This is 40 minutes long. This is Oh, we just did that, so that's enough on that one right there. This is 18 minutes. I'm going to leave both of these up here. He said that's a chess move. Hey, man, let me get on about it here. What time is it? It is almost 11 o'clock. So to hear going to say, well, at least he did some of them. You know, I'm trying. Oh, my gracious, man. We're getting some good views. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dang, dog. We getting some good views. Save as I might get up in the morning and get these joints done. Can I hit that? Hit this. Hit this. So here got a lot of, what is that, 10? $26. Yeah. I'm tired. I bought some chicken down. I ain't even eat it. When we first started the YouTube channel, they used to hate when I eat. Y'all eating on the channel. But anyway, I'm going to get on up out of here. Thank y'all so much. I wasn't going to go live, but I went live anyway. So peace out.